Welcome to Central Europe. A region where empires rose, borders shifted, and cities became living museums. In just a few hours of travel, you can move from alpine peaks to medieval squares. Here, grand architecture and quiet rivers carry stories that still shape modern Europe. And today we are exploring the most fascinating places across Central Europe. Central Europe sits at the crossroads of the continent, linking west and east through trade, culture and travel. It brings together iconic capitals and smaller towns, each shaped by royal dynasties and historic turning points. You will see elegant city streets, fortress walls, and mountain landscapes in one continuous journey. This is a region where the past feels close, but the energy stays modern and alive. Before we begin, here is a quick quiz for you. Which famous sweet is widely said to have originated in Germany? Comment your answer below and do not search it. If you enjoy meaningful and informative journeys like this, please support the channel. Liking and subscribing is completely free, but it helps creators more than you can imagine. And tell us in the comments, which country should we explore next? Rothenburg ob der Tauber. Germany, Rothenburg ob der Tauber is one of the most beautifully preserved medieval towns in Central Europe, located in Bavaria, Germany. The town sits above the Tauber River Valley and forms an important stop along Germany's famous Romantic Road. Walking through Rothenburg feels like stepping into the Middle Ages, where cobbled streets wind past colorful timber-framed houses and old towers. Much of the town's history dates back to the 13th century, when it became an important free imperial city within the Holy Roman Empire. After 1803, Rothenburg became part of Bavaria, yet it carefully preserved its medieval character and historic architecture. The town is surrounded by thick defensive stone walls with dozens of towers and gateways that once protected the settlement. Visitors can walk along sections of these walls and enjoy sweeping views of rooftops, gardens, and narrow alleys. One of the town's most notable landmarks is the historic town hall, which reflects a blend of Gothic and Renaissance architectural styles. The town also features the famous Medieval Crime and Justice Museum, offering insight into law and punishment during earlier centuries. Local bakeries and restaurants serve traditional Franconian dishes, including regional sausages, pastries, and hearty Bavarian meals. Tourism now forms the backbone of Rothenburg's economy, with travelers arriving from across the world to experience its preserved charm. Rothenburg's magical atmosphere has even inspired fairy tale imagery in films and illustrated stories, strengthening its global appeal. Today, the town remains a remarkable destination where medieval streets, historic buildings, and scenic views combine into a truly timeless travel experience. Cologne, Germany. Cologne is one of Germany's oldest cities, located along the Rhine River in western Germany. Its history stretches back more than 2,000 years, beginning as a Roman settlement that later grew into a major cultural center. Today, the city blends ancient ruins, medieval landmarks, and modern urban life into a fascinating European destination. At the heart of Cologne stands the world-famous Cologne Cathedral, an architectural masterpiece that dominates the city skyline. The cathedral's towering spires rise about 157 meters/515 feet, making it one of the tallest churches in Europe and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Around the cathedral, the Old Town features colorful houses, narrow streets, and lively public squares filled with cafes and local shops. Walking along the Rhine promenade reveals scenic river views, historic bridges, and busy harbour areas that reflect Cologne's long trading history. Cologne is also known as a major university city, giving it a youthful and relaxed atmosphere throughout the year. Museums play an important role in the city's culture, including art museums, history collections, and the well-known chocolate museum along the river. Local cuisine highlights traditional Rhineland dishes, fresh bakery items, and regional specialties served in welcoming restaurants. Cologne's economy thrives on trade, tourism, media industries, and international exhibitions hosted at its large convention centers. Festivals and cultural events bring energy to the city, making Cologne one of the most vibrant urban destinations in Central Europe. Heidelberg, Germany. Heidelberg is one of Germany's most picturesque historic cities, located along the Neckar River in southwest Germany. The city lies at the edge of the Odenwald Hills, creating a beautiful landscape of forests, river valleys, and historic architecture. Heidelberg is home to Germany's oldest university, founded in 1386, which has shaped the city's intellectual and cultural life for centuries. Students from around the world study here, giving the city a lively academic atmosphere and a youthful spirit. One of Heidelberg's most iconic landmarks is Heidelberg Castle, a magnificent ruin standing high above the Old Town. The castle overlooks the Neckar Valley and offers panoramic views of red rooftops, bridges, and the surrounding hills. The historic Old Town stretches beneath the castle and is known for its narrow streets, colorful buildings, and traditional marketplaces. The famous Old Bridge, built in the 18th century, connects the Old Town with the opposite bank of the Neckar River. Walking through Heidelberg reveals a blend of Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque architecture that reflects centuries of European history. Local cafes and bakeries serve traditional German pastries, while restaurants offer regional dishes from the Baden-Württemberg region. Tourism and education form the backbone of the city's economy, attracting scholars, travelers, and culture enthusiasts year-round. Heidelberg remains a romantic and historic destination where university life, scenic landscapes, and architectural heritage come together beautifully. Berlin, Germany. Berlin is the capital and largest city of Germany, located in the northeastern part of the country. The city stands as one of Europe's most influential cultural and political centers, shaped by centuries of history. Berlin's story reflects dramatic transformations, from royal Prussian power to modern democratic leadership. One of the city's most recognizable landmarks is the Brandenburg Gate, a historic monument symbolizing unity and freedom. Nearby stands the Reichstag building, the seat of the German parliament, combining historic architecture with modern design. Berlin is also famous for Museum Island, a UNESCO World Heritage Site containing several world-class museums. These museums preserve priceless artifacts that represent thousands of years of global history and culture. Despite being a large metropolitan city, Berlin offers numerous parks, lakes, and green spaces for relaxation. The Tiergarten Park in the city centre provides walking paths, gardens, and peaceful landscapes within the urban environment. Berlin's cultural scene is vibrant, with theatres, orchestras, galleries, and art festivals held throughout the year. The city's economy thrives on technology, creative industries, tourism, and international business. Walking through Berlin reveals a striking contrast between historic buildings and modern architecture. Today, Berlin represents a dynamic European capital where history, creativity, and innovation meet in a constantly evolving city. Munich, Germany. Munich is the capital of Bavaria and one of Germany's most prosperous and culturally rich cities. The city lies near the northern edge of the Alps, about 520 meters (1,706 feet) above sea level. This location places Munich close to alpine landscapes, lakes, and scenic mountain routes. Munich was officially founded in 1158 and later became an important center of the Bavarian kingdom. Over centuries, royal dynasties shaped the city's architecture, culture, and artistic traditions. At the heart of the city stands Marienplatz, the historic central square surrounded by grand buildings and lively streets. The new town hall dominates the square with its impressive Gothic Revival facade and famous mechanical clock. Munich is also known for its world-class museums, including the Deutsches Museum, one of the largest science museums in the world. Large parks add natural beauty to the city, especially the English Garden, which covers about 375 hectares / 927 acres. This vast green space offers walking paths, lakes, and quiet areas that locals enjoy throughout the year. Munich's economy is among the strongest in Germany, supported by global industries, technology companies, and finance. The city is also an important cultural center, hosting music, film, and art events across Europe. Today, Munich blends royal heritage, modern prosperity, and alpine scenery into one of Central Europe's most attractive urban destinations. Hamburg, Germany. Hamburg is Germany's second-largest city and one of Europe's most important port centers. The city lies in northern Germany along the Elbe River, about 100 kilometers / 62 miles from the North Sea. This strategic location helped Hamburg grow into a powerful trading hub over many centuries. Founded in the 9th century, Hamburg later became a key member of the Hanseatic League. This medieval trade network connected major ports across northern and central Europe. Today, the port of Hamburg remains one of the largest and busiest harbors in Europe. Massive cargo terminals, container ships, and shipyards highlight the city's maritime identity. Hamburg's historic Speicherstadt district features the world's largest warehouse complex built on wooden foundations. These red brick warehouses stand along narrow canals and are now recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Nearby lies the modern Hafen City district, representing one of Europe's largest urban redevelopment projects. The Elbe Philharmonie Concert Hall rises above the harbour, combining modern glass architecture with a historic warehouse base. Green parks, rivers, and more than 2,500 bridges give Hamburg a distinctive landscape shaped by water. Today, Hamburg blends maritime heritage, modern commerce, and cultural life into one of Germany's most dynamic cities. Saxon Switzerland National Park, Germany. Saxon Switzerland National Park lies in eastern Germany along the Elbe River near the border with the Czech Republic. The park forms part of the larger Elbe Sandstone Mountains, a unique landscape shaped by erosion over millions of years. Towering sandstone cliffs rise dramatically above forests and river valleys, creating one of Central Europe's most striking natural scenes. Many of these rock formations reach heights of about 300 meters / 984 feet, forming narrow gorges and steep ridges. The park covers roughly 93 square kilometers / 36 square miles and protects one of Germany's most impressive sandstone landscapes. Dense forests, deep ravines, and unusual rock pillars provide habitats for rare birds and wildlife. One of the park's most famous landmarks is the Bastei Bridge, a historic stone bridge built in 1851. The bridge connects towering rock towers high above the Elbe Valley and offers spectacular panoramic views. Hiking is one of the most popular activities here, with hundreds of kilometers of marked trails. Visitors can explore forest paths, climb scenic viewpoints, and photograph dramatic cliffs rising above the valley. Rock climbing also has a long tradition in this region, with strict conservation rules protecting the fragile sandstone formations. Tourism supports local villages and small businesses that welcome travelers exploring the national park. Saxon Switzerland National Park remains one of Germany's most remarkable natural destinations, where towering cliffs and deep forests create an unforgettable landscape. Neuschwanstein Castle, Germany. Neuschwanstein Castle stands high in the Bavarian Alps near the town of Füssen in southern Germany. The castle rises above forests and alpine lakes, creating one of the most recognizable landmarks in Europe. Construction began in 1869 under King Ludwig II of Bavaria, who imagined the castle as a romantic royal retreat. Perched about 965 meters/3,166 feet above sea level, the castle overlooks the surrounding valleys and mountain scenery. Its design combines Romanesque and medieval revival architecture, with tall towers, ornate balconies, and decorative stone walls. Although it appears ancient, Neuschwanstein was built in the 19th century and includes surprisingly modern engineering for its time. Inside the castle, richly decorated halls reflect scenes from German legends and classical operas. The throne hall and singers' hall are among the most impressive rooms, showcasing elaborate murals and artistic details. The castle's dramatic setting inspired many artists and later influenced the design of famous fairy tale castles in popular culture. Nearby alpine lakes such as Alpsee and the surrounding forests add natural beauty to the landscape. Tourism plays a major role in the region's economy, with millions of visitors arriving every year to see the castle. Viewing points like Marienbrücke Bridge provide spectacular panoramic views of the castle and the alpine valley below. Today, Neuschwanstein remains one of the most famous castles in the world, symbolizing romance, imagination, and Bavarian heritage. Frankfurt, Germany. Frankfurt is one of Germany's most important financial and economic centers, located along the main river in western Germany. The city lies in the state of Hesse and forms a key hub for international business and banking. Frankfurt's history dates back more than 1,200 years, when it began as a trading settlement during the early medieval period. Over time, it became an important location for imperial coronations and major European trade fairs. Today, the city is known for its modern skyline, which features some of the tallest buildings in Germany. This skyline has earned Frankfurt the nickname Manhattan, referencing the River Main and its impressive high-rise district. One of the city's historic landmarks is Roma Square, a medieval town centre surrounded by restored half-timbered buildings. Nearby stands St. Bartholomew's Cathedral, historically associated with the coronation of several Holy Roman emperors. Frankfurt is also home to the European Central Bank, making it a central pillar of Europe's financial system. The city hosts Frankfurt Airport, one of the busiest international aviation hubs in Europe. Museums along the riverbank form the famous Museum Embankment, offering art, history, and cultural exhibitions. Frankfurt's economy thrives through finance, technology, international trade, and global conferences. Today, Frankfurt represents a striking blend of historic heritage and modern economic power within Central Europe. Prague, the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic. Prague is the capital of the Czech Republic and one of the most historic cities in Central Europe. The city lies along the Vltava River and is known for its remarkable collection of medieval and Baroque architecture. Prague's history stretches back more than 1,000 years, making it a major cultural and political center of the region. At the heart of the city stands Prague Castle, one of the largest ancient castle complexes in the world. The castle sits on a hill overlooking the city and offers panoramic views of the Vltava River and red-roofed buildings. Below the castle lies the historic Old Town, filled with narrow streets, colorful buildings, and lively public squares. This medieval clock, installed in 1410, still attracts visitors who gather to watch its hourly mechanical display. The Charles Bridge connects the Old Town with the Castle district and spans the Vltava River with elegant stone arches. Walking across the bridge reveals historic statues and beautiful views of Prague's skyline. Prague is also known for its vibrant arts scene, with theatres, galleries, and classical music performances throughout the year. Local cuisine features traditional Czech dishes, including hearty soups, dumplings, and roasted meats. Today, Prague remains one of Europe's most visited cities, where historic architecture, cultural life, and scenic river views create an unforgettable destination. Kutná Hora, the Czech Republic. Kutná Hora is a historic town in the central region of the Czech Republic, about 70 kilometers/43 miles east of Prague. The town grew rapidly during the 13th century after large deposits of silver were discovered in the surrounding hills. Silver mining transformed Kutná Hora into one of the most important economic centers in medieval Central Europe. At its peak, the town produced a large portion of the silver used to mint coins in the Kingdom of Bohemia. This prosperity allowed the construction of impressive Gothic buildings that still define the town's skyline today. One of the most striking landmarks is the Cathedral of St. Barbara, a masterpiece of Gothic architecture. The cathedral rises above the town with elegant spires and detailed stone carvings visible across the valley. Nearby stands the Italian court, once the royal mint where silver coins were produced for the kingdom. Kutná Hora's historic center features narrow streets, stone houses, and quiet squares reflecting its medieval origins. The town's mining heritage can still be explored through preserved tunnels and historical exhibits. Local restaurants and cafes serve traditional Czech dishes that reflect the region's rural culinary traditions. Tourism now supports much of the local economy as visitors arrive to explore its preserved historic atmosphere. Kutná Hora remains a remarkable destination where medieval wealth, architecture, and mining history continue to shape the town's identity. Hallstatt Castle, the Czech Republic. Hallstatt Castle stands on a forested hill in the countryside of the Czech Republic, about 30 kilometers/19 miles southwest of Prague. The castle was founded in 1348 by Charles IV, the King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor. It was built to protect royal treasures, important state documents, and valuable imperial artifacts. Perched roughly 316 meters/1,037 feet above sea level. The castle overlooks the Bronca River Valley and surrounding forests. Its design reflects classic Gothic fortress architecture, with thick defensive walls and tall watchtowers. The castle rises in several terraces, with each level built higher up the hillside for stronger protection. The most prominent structure is the Great Tower, which dominates the skyline and forms the castle's central defense. Inside the complex, historic halls display medieval decorations, paintings, and preserved royal chambers. Stone courtyards and narrow passages reveal how the fortress functioned during the medieval period. The surrounding countryside adds natural beauty with rolling hills, dense forests, and scenic walking trails. Tourism now plays an important role in the local economy, attracting visitors throughout the year. Small villages nearby offer traditional Czech cuisine and regional hospitality to travelers exploring the area. Hallstatt Castle remains one of the most important historic fortresses in the Czech Republic, reflecting the power and heritage of medieval Bohemia. Český Krumlov, the Czech Republic. Český Krumlov is a beautifully preserved historic town in southern Czech Republic, located along the Vltava River. The town sits in a deep river bend, surrounded by gentle hills and dense forests. This dramatic landscape creates one of the most picturesque urban settings in Central Europe. Český Krumlov developed as an important trading settlement during the 13th century. Its strategic position along regional trade routes helped the town grow into a prosperous medieval center. Above the town rises Český Krumlov Castle, one of the largest castle complexes in Central Europe. The castle towers above the red rooftops and winding streets of the historic Old Town. Its architecture reflects several centuries of development, combining Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque elements. From the castle terraces, visitors can see sweeping views of the Vltava River and surrounding countryside. The historic center below features narrow cobbled streets, colorful houses, and quiet town squares. Many of these buildings have been carefully preserved, maintaining the town's authentic medieval character. Local restaurants offer traditional Czech cuisine, including roasted meats, dumplings, and regional pastries. Tourism now supports much of the town's economy as travelers come to experience its historic charm. Today, Český Krumlov remains one of Central Europe's most enchanting destinations. Where architecture, landscape, and history blend together beautifully. Old Town Square, the Czech Republic. Old Town Square lies at the historic heart of Prague, the capital city of the Czech Republic. The square has served as the central gathering place of the city for more than 700 years. Surrounded by colorful medieval buildings, the square reflects centuries of architectural evolution. Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque facades create a remarkable visual harmony across the historic plaza. One of the square's most famous landmarks is the astronomical clock mounted on the Old Town Hall Tower. Installed in 1410, this medieval clock remains one of the oldest working astronomical clocks in the world. Every hour, visitors gather in the square to watch the small mechanical figures move across the clock face. The open plaza itself covers roughly 9,000 square meters / 96,875 square feet and can host large public events and celebrations. Markets, festivals, and seasonal gatherings bring vibrant life to the square throughout the year. Cafes and historic buildings line the edges, offering scenic views of the surrounding architecture. Street performers and local artists often add energy to the lively atmosphere of the area. Old Town Square also provides easy access to many nearby historic streets and cultural landmarks. Today, the square remains one of the most visited locations in Prague, where history, architecture, and city life meet in a remarkable setting. Vienna, Austria. Vienna is the capital of Austria and one of the most historic cultural centers in Central Europe. The city lies along the Danube River in northeastern Austria and has long served as a crossroads of European trade and culture. Vienna's history stretches back more than 2,000 years, beginning as a Roman military settlement called Vindobona. Over centuries, it grew into the powerful capital of the Habsburg Empire, shaping politics and culture across Europe. At the heart of the city stands the Hofburg Palace, a vast imperial complex that once served as the residence of Austrian rulers. Another iconic landmark is Schönbrunn Palace, a grand summer residence surrounded by gardens and scenic parkland. Vienna is also world famous for its classical music heritage linked to composers such as Mozart, Beethoven, and Strauss. Concert halls and opera houses throughout the city continue this musical tradition today. The historic city centre features elegant boulevards, grand museums, and beautifully preserved Baroque architecture. Vienna's Ringstrasse Boulevard circles the old city and connects many important cultural landmarks. Traditional cafes play a central role in local life, offering pastries, coffee, and relaxed social spaces. The city's economy thrives on tourism, international organizations, education, and cultural industries. Today, Vienna blends imperial history, artistic heritage, and modern urban life into one of Europe's most refined capital cities. Wachau Valley, Austria. Wachau Valley is one of Austria's most scenic river landscapes, located along the Danube River between the towns of Melk and Krems. This picturesque valley stretches for about 36 kilometers/22 miles through rolling hills, historic villages, and terraced vineyards. The region lies in Lower Austria and is widely known for its cultural landscapes and preserved historic towns. For centuries, Wachau Valley served as an important trading route connecting Central European cities along the Danube. The valley's gentle slopes are covered with vineyards that produce some of Austria's most celebrated white wines. Stone terraces built along the hillsides help farmers cultivate grapes on the steep terrain. Historic castles and ruins stand on hilltops, overlooking the winding river and surrounding countryside. Small villages with narrow streets and traditional houses preserve the region's centuries-old rural character. The town of Dürnstein is especially well known for its striking blue church tower and riverside setting. Boat cruises along the Danube allow visitors to experience the valley's landscapes from the water. Cycling routes and walking trails follow the riverbanks and pass through vineyards and historic settlements. Agriculture, wine production, and tourism support the local economy throughout the region. Today, Wachau Valley remains one of the most beautiful cultural landscapes in Central Europe, where river scenery, historic villages, and vineyards form a remarkable travel destination. Hallstatt, Austria. Hallstatt is a small alpine village in Upper Austria, located beside the clear waters of Hallstätter Sea. The village sits between steep mountain slopes and the calm lake, creating one of the most iconic landscapes in Central Europe. Hallstatt's history reaches back more than 7,000 years due to ancient salt mining in the surrounding mountains. These salt deposits brought wealth to the region and made the village one of the earliest important settlements in the Alps. The historic center features narrow streets, wooden houses, and colorful buildings rising along the lakeshore. Above the village, the Hallstatt Skywalk stands about 360 meters (1,181 feet) above the valley floor. This viewpoint offers sweeping panoramic views across the lake and surrounding alpine peaks. The nearby Dachstein mountain range adds dramatic scenery with glaciers, caves, and high alpine landscapes. Boat rides across the lake reveal the full beauty of the village reflected in the calm water. Small cafes and local restaurants serve traditional Austrian dishes and regional pastries. Tourism now plays a major role in the village economy as travelers arrive to experience its remarkable scenery. Despite its small population, Hallstatt remains one of Austria's most photographed destinations. Today, the village represents a perfect blend of alpine nature, ancient history, and preserved European heritage. Salzburg, Austria. Salzburg is one of Austria's most historic and culturally rich cities, located near the German border in the Northern Alps. The city lies along the Salzach River and is surrounded by rolling hills and dramatic alpine landscapes. Salzburg's origins date back more than 1,300 years, when it developed as an important regional center. Its name reflects the region's historic salt trade, which once brought wealth and influence to the city. Above the historic center stands Hohensalzburg Fortress, one of the largest preserved medieval fortresses in Europe. The fortress rises about 506 meters (1,660 feet) above sea level and overlooks the Old Town and surrounding valleys. Below the fortress lies Salzburg's Old Town, a UNESCO World Heritage Site filled with Baroque architecture. Narrow streets, elegant squares, and historic buildings create a beautifully preserved urban landscape. Salzburg is internationally known as the birthplace of the composer Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Museums and historic houses connected to Mozart attract visitors interested in classical music history. Local cafes and restaurants serve traditional Austrian dishes and regional pastries. Tourism and cultural events form an important part of Salzburg's economy throughout the year. Today, Salzburg remains a remarkable destination where alpine scenery, historic architecture, and musical heritage come together in harmony. High Tatras, Slovakia. The High Tatras form the most dramatic mountain range in Slovakia and represent the highest peaks of the Carpathian Mountains. This alpine range stretches along the border between Slovakia and Poland in northern Central Europe. Sharp granite peaks, deep valleys, and clear glacial lakes define the striking landscape of the region. The mountains rise to about 2,655 meters (8,711 feet) at Gerlachowski Szczyt, the highest peak in Slovakia. Much of the range lies within protected national parks that preserve forests, alpine meadows, and rare wildlife. Dense pine forests cover the lower slopes, gradually giving way to rocky ridges and alpine terrain. The region is home to animals such as chamois, marmots, and golden eagles that inhabit the mountain environment. Glacial lakes scattered throughout the valleys reflect the surrounding peaks and create stunning natural scenery. The town of Tatranska Lomnica serves as one of the main gateways for travelers exploring the High Tatras. Cable cars and hiking trails allow visitors to reach high viewpoints and mountain landscapes safely. During winter, the mountains become an important center for skiing and alpine sports. Tourism supports much of the regional economy, with resorts and lodges welcoming visitors throughout the year. Today, the High Tatras remain one of Central Europe's most impressive mountain destinations, where rugged peaks and pristine nature create a powerful alpine experience. Wrocław, Poland. Wrocław is one of Poland's most historic and vibrant cities, located along the Oder River in southwestern Poland. The city is built across a network of islands and waterways connected by more than 100 bridges. Because of this unique geography, Wrocław is sometimes called the City of Bridges in Central Europe. Its history stretches back over 1,000 years, shaped by Polish, Bohemian, Austrian, and Prussian influences. At the heart of the city stands the Market Square, one of the largest medieval squares in Europe. Colorful townhouses surround the square, creating a lively urban landscape filled with cafes and historic buildings. The Gothic-style town hall rises prominently in the center of the square with ornate towers and decorative details. Nearby islands along the Oder River provide scenic walking paths and peaceful green spaces. Wrocław is also known for its charming bronze dwarf statues placed throughout the city streets. These small sculptures have become a playful symbol of the city's cultural identity. Museums, theatres, and universities contribute to Wrocław's lively cultural atmosphere. Local cuisine features traditional Polish dishes served in welcoming restaurants and historic taverns. Today, Wrocław blends centuries of architectural heritage with modern city life, making it one of the most fascinating destinations in Central Europe. Zakopane, Poland. Zakopane is a mountain town in southern Poland, located at the base of the Tatra Mountains near the Slovak border. The town sits about 800 meters (2,625 feet) above sea level, surrounded by forested slopes and dramatic alpine peaks. Because of its location, Zakopane is often called the winter capital of Poland. The town developed during the 19th century as a mountain resort attracting artists, writers, and travelers. Its architecture reflects the unique Zakopane style, combining wooden structures with traditional Highland design. Many houses and buildings feature carved wooden details inspired by local mountain culture. The famous Kropowki Street forms the lively center of the town, filled with shops, restaurants, and cultural events. Local markets offer traditional crafts, handmade clothing, and regional food specialties. The nearby Tatra National Park protects alpine landscapes, forests, and glacial lakes. Hiking trails lead visitors through valleys, mountain passes, and scenic viewpoints across the Tatras. In winter, the surrounding mountains become a major destination for skiing and snow sports. Tourism and outdoor recreation play a central role in the local economy. Today, Zakopane remains one of Poland's most popular mountain destinations. where alpine scenery and highland traditions create a unique travel experience. Gdansk, Poland. Gdansk is one of Poland's most historic port cities, located on the Baltic Sea in northern Poland. The city stands at the mouth of the Wachau River, forming an important gateway for maritime trade. For centuries, Gdansk played a major role in Baltic commerce and became one of the wealthiest cities in the region. During the medieval period, it was a powerful member of the Hanseatic League, a network of trading cities across northern Europe. The historic Old Town reflects this prosperity with colorful merchant houses and elegant waterfront buildings. Long Market Street forms the central promenade, leading to the impressive Neptune Fountain in the main square. The Gothic-style St. Mary's Church dominates the skyline and is considered one of the largest brick churches in the world. Along the riverfront stands the famous medieval crane, once used to load cargo onto ships in the harbour. Museums and historic buildings throughout the city preserve the story of maritime trade and regional culture. Gdansk also played an important role in modern European history during the late 20th century. The port, shipyards, and tourism industry support much of the city's modern economy. Walking through Gdansk reveals narrow streets, historic gates, and lively cafes overlooking the river. Today, the city remains a fascinating destination where maritime heritage, architecture, and Baltic culture meet. Kraków Old Town, Poland. Kraków Old Town forms the historic heart of Kraków, one of Poland's oldest and most culturally significant cities. The district lies along the Vistula River in southern Poland and represents one of the best preserved medieval urban centers in Europe. Founded in the 13th century, the Old Town developed as an important center of trade, scholarship, and royal administration. At the center of the district stands the main market square, one of the largest medieval town squares in Europe. The square covers about 40,000 square meters / 430,556 square feet and has served as a gathering place for centuries. Historic townhouses, cafes, and public buildings surround the square, creating a lively cultural atmosphere. In the middle of the square stands the Cloth Hall, once the central market for international trade. Nearby rises St. Mary's Basilica, known for its twin towers and historic presence overlooking the square. Stone streets extend outward from the square, connecting museums, universities, and historic neighborhoods. Horse-drawn carriages and street musicians often add a traditional character to the area. Local restaurants and bakeries serve classic Polish dishes and regional pastries to visitors and residents. Tourism plays a major role in the local economy, attracting travelers from around the world. Today, Prague Old Town remains a remarkable destination where medieval architecture, public squares, and cultural traditions continue to shape everyday life. Malbork, Poland. Malbork is a historic town in northern Poland located along the Neuschwanstein River in the Baltic region. The town is internationally known for Malbork Castle, one of the largest brick castles ever constructed. This massive fortress was built during the 13th century by the Teutonic Knights, a powerful medieval military order. Constructed primarily from red brick, the castle complex covers about 21 hectares / 52 acres. Its walls, towers, and defensive gates reflect the scale and strength of medieval fortress architecture. Malbork Castle served as the headquarters of the Teutonic Order for many decades. The complex is divided into three main sections: the High Castle, the Middle Castle, and the Lower Castle. Each part of the fortress once served administrative, residential, and defensive functions. The castle overlooks the Neuschwanstein River, which historically helped protect the settlement and support trade routes. Inside the fortress, halls, courtyards, and galleries display medieval artifacts and historical exhibitions. Today, the castle is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site due to its remarkable preservation. Tourism plays an important role in the local economy as visitors come to explore its immense walls and towers. Malbork remains one of the most impressive medieval fortress sites in Europe, reflecting the power and legacy of the Teutonic era. Budapest, Hungary. Budapest is the capital of Hungary and one of the most beautiful cities in Central Europe. The city lies along the Danube River, which divides Budapest into the historic districts of Buda and Pest. Buda rises on the western hills, while Pest spreads across the flat eastern banks of the river. This geographic contrast creates a dramatic cityscape connected by elegant bridges. One of the most iconic landmarks is the Hungarian Parliament building, standing proudly along the Danube waterfront. Its grand neo-Gothic architecture and towering dome dominate the city skyline. Across the river on the Buda side stands Buda Castle, a historic royal palace overlooking the city. From the castle hill, visitors can enjoy sweeping views of the river and surrounding neighborhoods. Budapest is also famous for its historic thermal baths, supplied by natural hot springs beneath the city. These bathhouses have been part of local life for centuries and remain popular cultural attractions. Wide boulevards, grand cafes, and historic buildings reflect the city's rich architectural heritage. Budapest's economy is supported by tourism, education, and growing technology industries. Today, the city blends imperial history, vibrant urban culture, and scenic river landscapes into one of Europe's most captivating capitals. Ljubljana, Slovenia. Ljubljana is the capital and largest city of Slovenia, located in the central part of the country. The city lies along the Ljubljanica River and is surrounded by gentle hills and green landscapes. Despite being a capital city, Ljubljana has a calm and welcoming atmosphere. Its history dates back more than 2,000 years when the area served as a Roman settlement known as Emona. Over the centuries, the city developed into an important cultural and trading center in the region. At the heart of Ljubljana stands Neuschwanstein Castle, built on a hill overlooking the historic city center. From the castle hill, visitors can see panoramic views of red rooftops, riverbanks, and surrounding hills. The historic Old Town features colorful buildings, narrow streets, and lively public squares. Elegant bridges cross the Ljubljanica River, including the famous Triple Bridge in the city center. Cafes and outdoor restaurants line the riverside, creating a vibrant and relaxed atmosphere. Ljubljana is also known as one of Europe's greenest capitals, with extensive parks and pedestrian areas. Cultural festivals, art galleries, and music events contribute to the city's lively creative scene. Today, Ljubljana combines historic charm, green urban planning, and modern European lifestyle into a unique capital city. Lake Bled, Slovenia. Lake Bled is one of the most picturesque natural destinations in Slovenia, located in the Julian Alps of northwestern Slovenia. The lake lies about 475 meters (1,558 feet) above sea level and is surrounded by forested hills and alpine peaks. Its calm turquoise water reflects the surrounding mountains and creates a striking natural landscape. At the center of the lake stands a small island that has become one of Slovenia's most recognizable landmarks. Traditional wooden boats known as pletna boats transport visitors across the water to the island. Above the lake rises Bled Castle, built on a steep cliff about 130 meters (426 feet) above the water. From the castle terrace, visitors can enjoy panoramic views of the lake, island and alpine scenery. Walking trails circle the lake for about 6 kilometers (3.7 miles) and provide peaceful viewpoints along the shoreline. Cycling and rowing are popular activities during the warmer months. In winter, the surrounding mountains add dramatic alpine scenery to the frozen landscape. Local cafes and bakeries are famous for the traditional Bled cream cake known as Cremeschnitte. Tourism forms the backbone of the local economy, welcoming visitors from around the world. Today, Lake Bled remains one of Central Europe's most iconic landscapes, where alpine beauty and peaceful waters create a timeless destination. Triglav National Park, Slovenia. Triglav National Park is the largest protected natural area in Slovenia and lies within the Julian Alps. The park covers about 840 square kilometers (324 square miles) of alpine landscapes in northwestern Slovenia. Its name comes from Mount Triglav, the highest peak in Slovenia, at 2,864 meters (9,396 feet). This mountain stands as a national symbol and dominates the surrounding alpine skyline. The park contains deep valleys, glacial lakes, waterfalls, and high mountain plateaus. Crystal clear rivers such as the Socha River flow through the region with striking emerald-colored water. Dense forests cover the lower elevations, gradually giving way to rocky alpine terrain. Wildlife in the park includes chamois, alpine ibex, golden eagles, and many rare plant species. The park also protects traditional alpine villages where local culture and mountain lifestyles remain visible. Hiking trails stretch for hundreds of kilometers across valleys, forests, and mountain ridges. These routes allow visitors to explore dramatic landscapes and scenic viewpoints throughout the region. Tourism and outdoor recreation support many local communities surrounding the national park. Today, Triglav National Park remains one of Central Europe's most spectacular alpine landscapes, combining rugged mountains with pristine natural beauty. Prague Castle, Slovenia. Prague Castle is one of the most remarkable castles in Central Europe, located in southwestern Slovenia near the town of Postojna. The castle is built directly into the entrance of a massive limestone cave within a towering cliff. This dramatic setting places the fortress about 123 meters (404 feet) above the valley floor. The original structure dates back to the 13th century and served as a strategic defensive stronghold. Its unique position allowed the castle to blend natural rock formations with medieval architecture. Hidden tunnels and cave passages behind the castle once provided secret routes for supplies and escape. These natural passages made the fortress extremely difficult for enemies to capture. Over the centuries, the castle was rebuilt and strengthened, preserving its distinctive appearance. Today, visitors can explore the interior halls, stone corridors, and chambers carved into the cliff. The surrounding landscape includes forests, limestone hills, and quiet countryside, typical of southwestern Slovenia. Tourism now plays an important role in the local economy as travelers visit this extraordinary fortress. Nearby caves and natural attractions add further interest for visitors exploring the region. Prague Castle remains one of Slovenia's most fascinating historic sites, where natural geology and medieval architecture combine in a dramatic setting. Tegernsee, Germany. Tegernsee is a beautiful alpine lake located in southern Germany in the Bavarian region. The lake lies about 50 kilometers (31 miles) south of Munich and sits within the foothills of the Bavarian Alps. Surrounded by forested mountains and charming villages, Tegernsee forms one of Bavaria's most scenic lake landscapes. The lake covers roughly 8.9 square kilometers (3.4 square miles) and reaches depths of about 72 meters (236 feet). Clear alpine water reflects the surrounding mountains and creates a calm, picturesque setting. Several small towns lie along the shoreline, including Tegernsee, Rottach-Egern, and Bad Wiessee. These towns developed historically as quiet fishing communities before becoming popular resort destinations. Walking paths and cycling routes circle much of the lake and provide peaceful views of the alpine scenery. Boat trips across the lake allow visitors to experience the landscape from the water. In summer, swimming, sailing, and paddle boating are popular recreational activities. During winter, the surrounding mountains attract visitors for skiing and snow sports. Tourism, hospitality, and wellness resorts play an important role in the local economy. Today, Tegernsee remains one of southern Germany's most relaxing travel destinations, where alpine nature and lakeside culture create a tranquil escape. Frauenchiemsee, Germany. Frauenchiemsee is a small island located in Lake Chiemsee in southern Bavaria, Germany. The island lies within the largest lake in Bavaria, often called the Bavarian Sea. Lake Chiemsee stretches across about 80 square kilometers /31 square miles and sits between Munich and the Austrian Alps. Frauenchiemsee is one of the main islands of the lake and is known for its peaceful landscape. The island has been inhabited for more than 1,200 years and developed as a quiet, lakeside community. Traditional houses, gardens, and narrow walking paths create a calm village atmosphere. Boats regularly connect the island with nearby lakeside towns and other islands. The surrounding lake offers beautiful views of alpine peaks rising in the distance. Fishing and small-scale tourism have long supported the island's local economy. Visitors often explore the island on foot, enjoying quiet paths and lakeside scenery. The island also features small artisan shops selling regional crafts and handmade products. Restaurants and cafes offer traditional Bavarian dishes and fresh local specialties. Today, Frauenchiemsee remains a peaceful destination where lake landscapes, local culture, and alpine views create a relaxing travel experience. Regensburg, Germany. Regensburg is one of the oldest and best preserved historic cities in Germany. Located along the Danube River in Bavaria, the city stands at the meeting point of the Danube, Naab and Regen rivers in southeastern Germany. Its history stretches back more than 2,000 years when it began as a Roman military settlement. Over the centuries, Regensburg developed into an important center of trade and political influence in Central Europe. The city's medieval old town remains remarkably intact and is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Narrow streets, stone towers, and historic merchant houses reflect the city's prosperous trading past. One of Regensburg's most famous landmarks is the stone bridge, built in the 12th century. This impressive bridge spans the Danube River and once served as a major crossing point for European trade routes. Nearby stands the Old Town Hall, which played a central role in imperial political meetings during the Holy Roman Empire. Walking through the historic center reveals colorful houses, small squares, and centuries-old architecture. Local restaurants serve traditional Bavarian dishes and regional specialties enjoyed by residents and visitors. Tourism, education, and small businesses support much of the city's modern economy. Today, Regensburg remains a remarkable destination where medieval streets, river landscapes, and preserved history create a unique European atmosphere. Esden, Germany. Dresden is the capital city of the German state of Saxony, located along the Elbe River in eastern Germany. The city lies within a broad river valley, surrounded by gentle hills and green landscapes. Dresden's history stretches back more than 800 years and reflects a long tradition of art, culture, and architecture. During the 18th century, the city became a major cultural center under the rule of Saxon kings. This period led to the construction of grand palaces, churches, and museums that shaped the city's skyline. One of the most famous landmarks is the Zwinger Palace, an elegant Baroque complex known for its gardens and galleries. Nearby stands the Frauenkirche, a historic church carefully reconstructed after major damage during World War II. The church's large stone dome rises about 91 meters / 299 feet above the city center. Along the riverbank, the Brühl Terrace offers panoramic views of the Elbe River and surrounding architecture. Dresden is also home to world-class museums that display masterpieces of European art and historical collections. The city hosts cultural festivals, music events, and exhibitions throughout the year. Tourism, technology industries, and research institutions support the city's modern economy. Today, Dresden blends restored historic beauty with modern cultural life, making it one of the most remarkable cities in Central Europe. Würzburg, Germany. Würzburg is a historic city in the Bavarian region of southern Germany, located along the Main River. The city lies in a scenic valley surrounded by gentle hills and vineyards. Its history dates back more than 1,300 years, developing as an important cultural and religious center. During the medieval and Baroque periods, Würzburg became a major seat of regional leadership and influence. One of the city's most famous landmarks is the Würzburg Residence, a magnificent Baroque palace. This palace is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its remarkable architecture and interior design. Inside the palace, visitors can see grand halls, decorative ceilings, and elaborate artistic details. Above the city stands the Marienburg Fortress, built on a hill overlooking the Main River Valley. From the fortress walls, visitors can enjoy sweeping views of the city and surrounding vineyards. The Old Main Bridge connects the historic city centre with the fortress hill across the river. Stone statues line the bridge, creating one of the most iconic viewpoints in the city. Würzburg is also known for its wine culture, with vineyards producing famous Franconian wines. Tourism, education, and wine production play important roles in the city's local economy. Today, Würzburg combines historic architecture, river landscapes, and vineyard traditions into one of Bavaria's most charming destinations. Brno, the Czech Republic. Brno is the second largest city in the Czech Republic and an important cultural center in Central Europe. The city lies in the Moravia region in the southeastern part of the country. Brno developed historically as a trading and administrative hub connecting major Central European routes. Its origins date back more than 1,000 years when the settlement grew around fortified hills. One of the city's most recognizable landmarks is Spielberg Castle, standing on a hill above the historic center. The castle was built during the 13th century and later served as a major defensive fortress. From the hilltop, visitors can see panoramic views of the city and surrounding countryside. Another important landmark is the Cathedral of St. Peter and Paul, whose towers dominate the skyline. The cathedral stands on Petrov Hill and has become one of the symbols of Brno. The historic city center features lively squares, colorful buildings, and elegant streets. Cafes, restaurants, and local markets create an energetic urban atmosphere. Brno is also known as a major university city with a large student population. Education, technology industries, and international exhibitions support the city's economy. Today, Brno blends historical heritage with modern innovation, making it one of Central Europe's most dynamic cities. Telč, the Czech Republic. Telč is a small historic town in southern Czech Republic, known for its remarkably preserved Renaissance architecture. town developed during the 14th century as an important trading stop along regional trade routes. Its historic center forms one of the most beautiful town squares in Central Europe. The square is surrounded by colorful Renaissance and Baroque houses with decorative facades and elegant arcades. These houses were rebuilt after a major fire in the 16th century, giving the town its distinctive architectural style. At one end of the square stands the Telk Castle, originally built as a Gothic fortress. During the Renaissance period, the castle was transformed into an elegant palace with ornate interiors. The castle overlooks a system of historic fish ponds that surround the town. These ponds were originally constructed for defense and later used for fish farming. Walking through Telk reveals peaceful streets, historic gates, and quiet public squares. Small cafes and restaurants offer traditional Czech dishes and regional specialties. Tourism plays an important role in the town's local economy. Today, Telk is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its exceptional historic preservation. The town remains one of Central Europe's most charming destinations, where Renaissance architecture and tranquil landscapes create a timeless atmosphere. Zell am See, Austria. Zell am See is a beautiful alpine town in Austria, located beside the clear waters of Lake Zell. The town lies in the state of Salzburg and is surrounded by the dramatic peaks of the Austrian Alps. Its setting between lake and mountains creates one of the most scenic landscapes in Central Europe. Zell am See developed as a small alpine settlement before becoming a well-known mountain resort. Today, the town is recognized as one of Austria's most popular year-round travel destinations. Lake Zell stretches across about 4.7 square kilometers / 1.8 square miles and reflects the surrounding mountain scenery. Walking paths and cycling routes follow the lakeshore and offer peaceful views of the alpine landscape. Boat cruises allow visitors to explore the lake while enjoying panoramic views of nearby peaks. Above the town rises the Schmittenhöhe mountain, reaching about 1,965 meters / 6,447 feet. Cable cars carry visitors to the summit, where wide viewpoints overlook the lake and surrounding valleys. During winter, the nearby slopes become a major center for skiing and snow sports. Tourism, hospitality, and outdoor recreation support much of the local economy. Today, Zell am See remains a remarkable destination where alpine mountains, clear lakes, and resort culture come together beautifully. Graz, Austria. Graz is the second largest city in Austria and the capital of the state of Styria. The city lies along the Mur River in southeastern Austria and is surrounded by gentle hills. Graz has a history of more than 800 years and developed as an important regional cultural center. Its historic center is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its preserved architecture. Walking through the Old Town reveals narrow streets, colorful buildings, and historic courtyards. Renaissance and Baroque buildings dominate the cityscape and reflect centuries of architectural influence. One of the city's most recognizable landmarks is the Schlossberg Hill, rising above the historic center. At the top of the hill stands the famous clock tower, which has become a symbol of Graz. From this viewpoint, visitors can see panoramic views of the red rooftops and surrounding valleys. The city is also home to several universities that contribute to its youthful and creative atmosphere. Modern architecture blends with historic structures throughout the city. Local restaurants and cafes offer traditional Austrian dishes and regional specialties. Tourism, education, and technology industries support the city's growing economy. Today, Graz combines historic charm, cultural creativity, and modern urban life into one of Austria's most vibrant cities. Hofburg Palace, Austria. Hofburg Palace is one of the most important historic landmarks in Vienna, the capital of Austria. palace complex lies in the center of the city and served for centuries as the residence of the Habsburg rulers. Construction of the palace began in the 13th century and continued to expand over several hundred years. Because of this long development, the complex reflects Gothic, Renaissance, Baroque, and classical architectural styles. The palace complex covers about 240,000 square meters / 2,583,339 square feet and includes multiple courtyards and grand halls. For more than 6 centuries, the Hofburg functioned as the political and administrative center of the Habsburg Empire. Within the complex, visitors can explore museums, historic apartments, and ceremonial rooms. The imperial apartments reveal how the royal family lived during the height of the Austrian Empire. Nearby stands the Spanish riding school, famous for its classical horse training traditions. The palace also houses the Austrian National Library, one of the most beautiful historic libraries in Europe. Large public squares and gardens surround the palace, connecting it with Vienna's historic city center. Tourism and cultural institutions make the Hofburg one of the most visited sites in Austria. Today, the palace remains a powerful symbol of imperial history and political heritage in Central Europe. Toruń, Poland. Toruń is a historic city in northern Poland, located along the Vistula River. The city developed during the 13th century as an important trading center in medieval Central Europe. Toruń later became a significant member of the Hanseatic League, a powerful network of trading cities. This prosperity helped shape the city's impressive Gothic architecture. Much of the historic Old Town has remained remarkably well preserved. Because of its historical importance, the city center is recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Walking through Toruń reveals narrow cobbled streets, medieval walls, and red brick buildings. At the center of the city stands the Old Town Market Square, surrounded by historic merchant houses. One of the most famous landmarks is the Old Town Hall, a large Gothic building that dominates the square. Torun is also known as the birthplace of Nicholas Copernicus, the astronomer who proposed the heliocentric model. Museums and monuments across the city celebrate his scientific legacy. Local bakeries are famous for traditional gingerbread, a specialty produced in Torun for centuries. Tourism, culture, and local businesses support much of the city's economy. Today, Torun remains one of the best preserved medieval cities in Europe, where historic architecture and scientific heritage come together. Ostrotumski, Poland. Ostrotumski is one of the oldest historic areas in Poland and forms the original settlement of the city of Wrocław. The district lies on an island along the Oder River in southwestern Poland. Its history dates back more than 1,000 years when early rulers established fortified settlements in the area. Stone bridges connect the island with the surrounding parts of the city. Walking through Ostrotumski reveals quiet streets lined with historic buildings and traditional architecture. One of the most prominent landmarks is the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist, whose twin towers rise above the district. The cathedral's towers reach about 98 meters (322 feet) and dominate the skyline of the island. Historic lampposts along the streets create a unique atmosphere, especially during the evening hours. Every evening, traditional lamplighters manually light the gas lamps, preserving a long-standing local tradition. The island also features small gardens, courtyards, and peaceful river views. Visitors often walk along the riverside paths to enjoy views of bridges and historic architecture. Tourism and cultural heritage preservation play an important role in the area. Today, Ostrotumski remains a remarkable historic district where early Polish history and preserved architecture create a timeless setting. Esztergom, Hungary. Esztergom is one of Hungary's oldest historic cities, located along the Danube River in northern Hungary. The city stands near the border with Slovakia and has played an important role in the country's early history. Esztergom developed as a royal and cultural center during the early medieval period. For centuries, it served as the political and religious center of the Hungarian kingdom. The most prominent landmark is the Esztergom Basilica, the largest church building in Hungary. Its massive dome rises about 100 meters (328 feet) above the Danube Valley and dominates the skyline. The basilica stands on Castle Hill, overlooking the river and surrounding countryside. From the hilltop terraces, visitors can see wide views of the Danube River and nearby towns. Historic buildings, courtyards, and stone streets surround the basilica complex. Across the river, a bridge connects the city with the Slovak town of Sturovo. The riverside area features walking paths and scenic viewpoints along the Danube. Local restaurants offer traditional Hungarian cuisine and regional specialties. Tourism and cultural heritage preservation support much of the local economy. Today, Esztergom remains a remarkable destination where historic architecture, river landscapes, and national heritage come together. Sopron, Hungary. Sopron is a historic city in western Hungary, located near the border with Austria. The city lies at the foot of the Alps and close to the scenic shores of Lake Ferto. Its strategic position made Sopron an important settlement along historic trade routes. The city's history stretches back more than 2,000 years to Roman times. During the medieval period, Sopron developed into a prosperous trading and cultural center. Much of its historic center has remained well preserved over the centuries. Walking through the Old Town reveals narrow streets, colorful buildings, and historic squares. One of the city's most recognizable landmarks is the Firewatch Tower rising above the main square. This tower once served as a lookout point to protect the city from fires and attacks. From the top, visitors can see sweeping views of rooftops and surrounding countryside. The city also features elegant Baroque architecture reflecting its long cultural heritage. Local cafes and restaurants serve traditional Hungarian dishes and regional specialties. Tourism, local commerce, and cultural events support the city's modern economy. Today, Sopron remains a charming destination where historic architecture and Central European culture come together beautifully. Tihany, Hungary. Tihany is a historic village located on a peninsula that extends into Lake Balaton in western Hungary. The peninsula rises above the lake and offers sweeping views across one of the largest freshwater lakes in Central Europe. Lake Balaton stretches about 77 kilometers/48 miles in length and is often called the Hungarian Sea. Tihany developed as an important cultural and historical settlement during the early medieval period. The village is best known for the Tihany Abbey, founded in 1055 by the Hungarian king Andrew I. This historic monastery stands on a hill overlooking the lake and surrounding countryside. From the Abbey terraces, visitors can see wide panoramic views of Lake Balaton and nearby hills. The peninsula is also known for its volcanic landscape, formed by ancient geological activity. Walking trails lead through lavender fields, wooded hills, and scenic viewpoints along the shoreline. The village center features traditional houses, small shops, and local restaurants. Regional cuisine highlights fish dishes from the lake and traditional Hungarian specialties. Tourism and local agriculture play important roles in the area's economy. Today, Tihany remains one of Hungary's most scenic destinations, where historic landmarks and lakeside landscapes create a peaceful travel experience. Central Europe is a region where history, culture, and landscapes come together in remarkable ways. From medieval towns and royal capitals to alpine lakes and mountain peaks, every destination reveals a different story. Ancient trade routes, historic architecture, and vibrant city life continue to shape this fascinating part of Europe. Whether exploring quiet valleys, walking through historic squares, or standing beside dramatic castles, the journey through Central Europe always feels unforgettable. Each place carries layers of history while still welcoming travelers with modern energy and timeless beauty. And this is only a glimpse of the many wonders waiting to be discovered across this region. If you enjoy meaningful and informative journeys like this, please support the channel. Liking and subscribing is completely free, but it helps creators more than you can imagine. And tell us in the comments, which country should we explore next?